This episode of the Teen Writing Nook is brought to you by the Rabbit Hole Relic Research Institute, the world's leading database for writers who would rather spend 48 hours researching the exact chemical patent of a 19th century matchstick than actually edit Chapter 1. The Rabbit Hole Institute, because why finish your book when you can build a 50-page wiki about the Victorian factory logic instead? Discover your next distraction at rabbitholeresearch.org. Season 1, Episode 20. Editing Do's and Don'ts for Neurodivergent Writers, Part 1. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I have a slight cold today. It's been getting better over the last week. I caught it after recording last week's episode. But, so my voice is going to sound a little different, just a heads up. But I'm still well enough to do the episode, so let's dive in. There's this huge problem with traditional editing advice for writers. It tells you to print out your 300-page book, sit at a desk with a red pen, and read it from start to finish. Excuse me. For an ADHD brain, that sounds like a death sentence, and it leads straight to absolute exhaustion, cringing at your own work, and quit. We need to stop fighting how our brains work and start gamifying the process. How do we do that? Well, I'm going to get into the don'ts and do's today. I've got a list of don'ts and a list of do's. And, this again is not prescriptive. It is advice that is to be taken with a grain of salt and say, yes, I can use this, or no, this would not apply to me very well. Because not all neurodivergent brains are the same, just like not all neurotypical brains are the same. The don'ts. What triggers the dopamine crash? Do not try to fix everything at once. If you are opening a chapter trying to fix typos, historical accuracy, and character depth and pacing all in one go, your brain will short circuit from decision fatigue. Do not force yourself into a rigid outline. Forcing yourself to edit exactly 5 pages every morning at 8 a.m. kills the dopamine. When the routine becomes a chore, the brain rejects it. And finally, don't edit at the same spot that you write. Your brain associates the keyboard desk setup with creating the first draft. Trying to switch to critical thinking in the exact same physical place causes massive friction. And now it's time for the do's. Do give yourself a single issue pass. Pick one hyper-specific target for the day. Tell yourself, today I'm only scanning chapter 1 to look for character chemistry. Let yourself and your brain ignore everything else. It lowers the barrier. Do trick your brain with novelty. Change the font of your manuscript to something completely ridiculous, or set your digital paper to a warm sepia tone that immediately stops the cringe reflex by tricking your brain into thinking you're reading a totally different, fresh book written by someone else entirely. And finally, do take the story out of order. If starting at chapter 1 feels overwhelming, you already know what happens. Flip the script, go to a random scene, or read the manuscript backwards. Breaking the chronological momentum helps keep the brain alert. Now, I know this hasn't been my typical episode with a lot of talking, but because I'm under the weather, I figured this would be an easy one for me to knock out. So I'm sorry if this is not what you're expecting, but I hope it's still helpful and there's still some advice that you resonated with. Again, nothing here is prescriptive. It is tools, not laws or rules that you have to follow. You can take whatever you want and leave what you don't. Your draft does not have to be perfect on the first pass, and you don't have to edit like a robot to be a real author. If you have any tricks that you'd like me to include in the next video, please email to them, not video, sorry, episode for editing please email them to me at jkwilliams.author@outlook.com. That is jkwilliams, all lowercase, .author, all lowercase, @outlook.com. Well, that just about wraps things up for this week. As you know by now, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to the podcast. Follow me on Instagram and follow me on Pinterest. I will be sure to include all my socials in the link or show notes. Sorry, I'm tired and I'm a little crazy today because I'm still recovering from my cold. Anyways, you know the drill. Subscribe, follow, and this has been the Teen Writing Nook. You're in the Nook, so you should probably be writing. I'm J.K. Williams, signing off. Have a great week, and don't get sick. It's not worth it.